1, Dune 2 needs to make 500 million break even. This is where I say, Jacob, it doesn't matter when you have like an evergreen product like Dune. It's
Yeah.
like Lord of the Rings.
Bro,
It's
it's
like the
literally,
original
I
Star Wars
think
trilogy. Whenever you re-release it, there's going to be an audience for this type of movie.
it's at 200 something. I can't remember what it is. So it's gonna break even this
Even
upcoming
if
up
it
week.
doesn't originally, this is an evergreen product. Like 100 years from now, people are still going to be watching Dune 2.
It's gonna clear like 700 million. It's gonna be fine anyways.
Do you see what I'm saying, Voltaire? It's an
Yeah. This is not.
in the if you think about the future when we're gone, people are still going to be watching and talking about Dune 2.
So this is it. You're 100% right. Warner Brothers is ecstatic. They have like an iconic trilogy. Well, however many movies they end up making out of it, but they have an iconic series of movies that are going to be around forever, like Lord of the Rings. That's a good analogy.
Just in whether you like it or not, to get back to the beginning of whether you like Zack Snyder or not, the Snyder Cut is an evergreen product. It's just because all the mystique around it too, and how it came to be released. That's also an evergreen product, where some of these DC movies are not. You know,
I think those Snyder era DC movies will be, people will take another look at them in a few years. And
well, the Snyder Cut because it was originally because there's two versions and the whole story behind
Yeah,
it.
of course. Yeah, of course.
Even though I liked BVS, I think even better than the Snyder Cut.
I don't know all that.
The Ultimate Edition.
Yeah.
If you're talking about in the whole time of cinema in the future, I think the Snyder Cut's going to be the one people go to.
Yeah, Nux.
All right. Thoughts on Frank Herbert's son? Brian says Denis Villeneuve's Dune films combined are by far the best film interpretation of his dad's novel
Damn,
ever. That's great to hear.
that's a diss. Really, Scott. That's tough.
No, that wasn't a diss. That's just saying it's the best.
I'm
Doesn't mean it's bad.
David Lynch.
He has a point. I agree with him.
Well, he captured it. It was very hard. Other people have tried, and he did it. Got to give.
I never thought I was gonna like Dune 2 this much. I always wanted to see it. I liked the first one, but this one was something different.
For fun, you should go watch the David Lynch Dune just for fun. It's now that you kind of know about the world.
Oh my God, David Lynch. Yes, not really Scott. God damn it. So
it's not as bad once you've seen. It's not nearly as good as what Villeneuve's done. But once you see, now that you know the storyline and you know the character, seeing what David Lynch's idea. I mean, it's got a good cast. It's got Patrick Stewart in it.
Patrick Stewart's at the service.
What are you talking about, Degrassi? There's some movies they'll be watching. Absolutely. These movies are like. I think people don't give enough credit to film and video games. Some of this stuff, some of this music, some of these video games, some of these films, some of these TV shows are very innovative, and like the Picassos and the Mona Lisas of our age. Some of this stuff, not all of it, some of it.
So it kind of depends.
Don't you believe that, Voltaire, Anthony?
It kind of depends. Look, you don't watch anything from the 1920s now, movie-wise, but there's been big advancements in cinema. Yeah. If there aren't major advancements in cinema, I agree with you. People will still, it still holds its basic truth. Yes, it could be like you're saying.
As a film fan, Degrassi, I'm very disappointed in your comment here. You don't think some of this stuff? I'm not saying Madam Web. Madam Web is going to be lost.
Don't you think that all movies in the future in 100 years are going to be like a VR type of situation?
I mean, potentially, yeah, that's going to be different. But I think Dune 2 is going to stand the test of time. I think, and I'm not saying I love Zack Snyder's Justice League, but I don't think the quality is the high that on its own it would stand the test of time. But because of all the supplemental stuff around it, the story of it being released, that's why it's going to stay. It's going to be infamous,
Yeah.
I think it's a great movie, but I like when people watch it 100 years from now, when there's like 30 versions of Batman and Superman, I don't know, but because of the history of its release, that's why. But there's some movies, yes, that are scanned. I totally believe the Dune trilogy, when it's complete, people are going to look at it in 100 years. Really do. But that's an interesting topic too.
Mm.
Name one 100-year-old movie people still watch today.
That's
But
a tough.
I think Voltaire hit the nail on the head because it was in its 100 years ago. Film was in its early infancy, and it wasn't, even though it was interesting to watch it today to see what the first film projects were, the quality wasn't great. Now they perfected it. So I think that's the difference, right?
Yeah, if it's not such a big, there's not gonna if there's not such a big monumental shift in how people watch movies.
I mean, we're getting, if you're going back 100 years, you're talking to the part where they didn't always have audio, and they said, "Oh, now we have audio, and now it's called talkies."
Yeah.
Or now there's Keller. Now we have all that. That's built in. They've done the hard work where they figured everything out for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You'll never know.
that's really glass half empty, disposable. I don't know how you could be a film fan and think that some of this stuff's not going to last. I really don't.
Well, we certainly watch movies from like 30, 40 years ago, right? Those
Yeah.
last. So, I mean, the advancements, the difference from 30, 40 years to now, there's a difference in how movies look, but it's not so banana. So you can still watch old movies, appreciate them from that era. So, it just kind of depends on how the progress goes. Certainly,
I absolutely think people are going to watch Dune 2 in 100 years.
Mhm.
In 21, 24, I think Dune 2, the Dune trilogy, is going to be still relevant, especially for creatives, and maybe they'll still go to college at that point. I don't know. We'll see, but yeah. All right. So moving on, Jacob McKenzie, thoughts on Cameron Diaz's in final talks to star alongside Keanu Reeves and Jonah Hill's Outcome. The film follows a damaged Hollywood star who must confront his past after he's extorted with a mysterious video clip.
Oh, that's an interesting plot. I thought she was retired, but it's good to see her come back after 2 movies.
Oh yeah, I thought she was retired too.
Yeah, but it's dope to see her come back.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how the trailer is. I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know if we won't be watching either. Maybe there's going to be some progress on some medical
right, maybe
advancement.
it'll be like
Who
Futurama.
knows?
You'll be the head in the jar or whatever.
Maybe Trump will still be here
You'd probably
too.
be in the frozen body and just froze yourself for 100 years. Like,
if Elon Musk figures out, along with his Cybertrucks,
The Neuralink thing?
technology to extend your life another 100 years, Voltaire, are you buying?
Hell yeah, I'm buying.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
All right.
Wouldn't you want to live
Could be
another 100 years? Sure.
I actually think life is beautiful because it's temporary, and
Yeah.
I don't want to live forever, but yeah, like another 100 years, that might be cool.
Are you kidding me? I feel like we're on the cusp of a next big leap in the next and I just hope I live to see that next big leap. I'm jealous of like my nieces and nephews of what the world's going to be like. Like I don't think that my young nieces and nephews are going to be driving ever again, that kind of thing. Like that's going to completely be gone. There's a big shift. I think that the virtual reality world is going to become like something's going to happen in the next 20, 25 years. And
Oh,
I just hope
I definitely think that I do feel like you're going to get to the point where what was that movie with where you're going to get AI companions, people are going to buy them
yeah.
and not have real relationships.
Right.
I do feel like you're going to get to that point. I forget what was that sci-fi movie with
What, her?
with Tom, no, with the Tomb Raider star Alicia Vikander.